Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube. It's your girl Honey. This is the good, the bad and the ugly astrology. Today we are talking about having your Mars in Scorpio. So what is your Mars? Your Mars is your reactions, it's your motivation, it's your drive, it's your sexuality, it's what you are sexually attracted to, how you exude your sex, okay? And Mars is the ruler of Aries. Aries is home to the first house on the natal chart. Scorpio is also the co-ruler to Mars. It's like the dark side of Mars. Aries is like the light side, the above the surface. That's how I like to describe it, above the surface, and Scorpio is more like below the surface, you know. Scorpio is home to the 8th house on the natal chart. 8th house represents your intimacy and sex, other people's resources, death, transformation, the rebirth. It's a very deep house. It's so interesting. I love that house. I've got 8th house stellium. My moon's in there. I'm all about occult stuff because that does represent the 8th house as well. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, which is all about transformation. Whatever house it makes its way through, you're going to go through a massive transformation in some type of way. So, people who have their Mars in Scorpio, what kind of person or what kind of traits would you most likely have? Out of the 3 water elements, I would say Scorpio is the best place to have your Mars out of those 3 because it is the co-ruler to Mars, you know, but when they're reacting to things, they tend to react behind the scenes or behind your back or in secret or in private. Aries does things above the surface so everyone can see. You know, Mars is the planet of actions, of battling. It's your motivation and it's your drive to do things. And Aries likes to be the hero and likes to get everyone's approval because Aries likes to, you know, am I doing this right? Like, tell me I'm doing it right. Yes, I am doing it right. Whereas Scorpio is more about not getting people's approval, but by manipulating its way in because it's ruled by Pluto. When you have Pluto squares in your chart, you can definitely have these, you can definitely be someone who is liable to manipulate. For example, if you've got Pluto square, your Mercury, you know, even in synastry, someone with a Pluto square can definitely be liable to manipulate the shit out of you. It doesn't mean that they're all bad. You know, my dad has this placement. He's a Mars in Scorpio. He's a Pisces sun and he's got something in Cancer. I can't remember, but he's got a grand trine in water. He's absolutely creative. And it's crazy because I never thought this guy related to his Mars in Scorpio at all because he's just way too nice. He's way too Pisces in my opinion, you know? And he's told me a few stories of when he has done Mars in the dark side things. And I'm like, okay, I see you now, pups. Because this is the dark side to Mars, when it comes to their reactions can be sinister, it can be dark, it can be very Scorpio-like. You know, for example, when my dad is a Caribbean man. He came over to the UK, you know, in the 50s, early 60s, and he was a kid. And he went into high school and he had a fresh, you know, thick Caribbean accent. Went into high school and this girl was taking the piss out of him. And his way of reacting to her was, okay, I'm going to cut you. And he got a knife or a pencil, whatever it was, I can't remember. And he literally stabbed her in the neck, like here, or he slit her neck. Not like to kill, you know, or to physically, you know, cause some severe damage. But he did want to inflict pain on her. And that's very, like, this was a long time ago, you know, but that's very typical for Mars in Scorpio energy because they want to inflict the pain that you are causing them. They are very, very protective over their loved ones. You know, they are very, very caring. And that's the thing is with them, they're so passionate. They're very, very passionate. They're very, very passionate people. And this is why when they are committing crimes or when they are feeling hurt, they tend to do things out of passion because they are feeling things deeper than others. This is something that I do like about Mars and Scorpio people. And I appreciate this because we are in a time where social media is out here, you know, making us all compare our lives to each other. And with the Mars in Scorpio people, they are not out here to show you guys everything. They do things all in secret, in private. They're private people, or they do things behind the scenes. So if they're, buying a house, if they're making money in a particular way, or whatever it is that they do, they will do it so you won't see. You won't even know about it. However, my dad, he's a Pisces and he tells me next to everything. Like, I don't know what it is about him, but my Venus is in Pisces and we have a really nice synastry. These people do not talk to everyone about their movements, their actions, because it's, I'm going to do shit on my own. I haven't got to tell you nothing. I also find that because these people are very private, they are going to be someone who likes to keep their relationships private, or in some cases a secret to others, because it's not about showcasing what you have. It's not about letting everyone know this is my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I'll present them to the public when I'm good and ready, but don't pressure them. Let's not forget Scorpio, Mars and Scorpio is also a fixed sign, and these people are not very good at debating, negotiating, compromising even, because they're fixed. So it's very difficult for them to see things from the other person's perspective. So when you have like Pluto aspects as well, you're going to be someone who is very good at manipulating to get things done how you want them to be done. The kind of people that you are attracted to sexually, because Mars is your sexual attraction, is obviously Scorpios. People who have Scorpio energy, right? And you're going to like someone who has this, they are very private, they're very sensual, very sexy, very magnetic, and that's where your desires tend to lay. And how you are in the bedroom is you're going to be someone who likes to draw the sex out of someone, in a sense where, let's not forget Scorpio energy, and I always compare it to Aries, because Aries and Scorpio both share Mars, basically. So you have to compare so you can understand the difference, okay? And with Aries energy, they are very physical. They like to draw the physicalness out of things in the bedroom, and they're very passionate. Their style is very, very passionate and aggressive. Whereas Scorpio has this thing where they can be very passive aggressive, but they're still aggressive behind the scenes, right? When it comes to their sex style, they are the type to draw that energy, out of you. Like, are you trying to make love with me here? Because I'm feeling a connection. They want to draw that connection out of you. Hence why a lot of people really like sleeping with Scorpio people, Mars and Scorpio, people who have Scorpio elements, because they enjoy that force that Mars and Scorpio people tend to have. And it's just pulling out the chemistry in someone. And it's crazy because there was this guy that I was following. I'm still following him on my Instagram. And he's an amazing artist, very, very good at what he does. And I love art. Those of you who don't even know, there's many of you who don't even know that, but I am really good at art. And I watch him paint on his Instagram and draw, and I'm like, oh my God. And I slid into his DMs. Yes, I did. And we just started talking, and conversation was, growing, and we exchanged numbers. And, I had to ask him when his birthday was, and he told me that he was a Scorpio. So I was like, oh, I struggle with Scorpio sun and energy. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I looked at his chart and I saw he had his Mars in Scorpio. And I was like, God, no wonder this guy is so damn sexy. Like, Mars and Scorpio energy is magnetic, it's sexy, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has a lot of girls around him, because the energy brings in a fluctuation of people that are sexually drawn to you. And I was probably one of many women, but after we spoke, I realized, okay, we're not on the same page. He's a bit too young for me, but nevertheless, he's a very nice person. When you have your Mars and Scorpio grand trines in water, like my dad, it makes you someone who effortlessly can attract the opposite sex to you. And also when it comes to their style and their technique, when it's approaching people, they're not gonna go for the loud mouth in the room, or they're not gonna be attracted to the, no. They don't like anyone who chats business, who is loud and vulgar. They will be attracted to that one girl walking by herself or in the corner on her own, and they will approach her and they'll be very, very gentle. And they will use their sexual energy, their eyes, very intense eyes. Mars and Scorpio haven't really got like that intense eyes there, but I feel like they can definitely use it when the time is right. And it's like they stare at you in a sense where, okay, you know, I'm interested, are you interested? And they're looking at you, gazing at you, and you're like, yeah, I'm interested. Like, it can be very, very intimidating, but you can't help but talk to them, because remember, the Mars in Scorpio energy is very, very magnetic. So you can't help but to say, okay, cool, here's my number, let's talk. They just have a very magnetic energy about them. And you know, when you have your Mars in your first house, and if you're from the Pluto and Scorpio generation, you know, Pluto in the first house as well definitely gives off this sexual energy, man. For example, if you're a female, you're gonna get girls that don't like you immediately. Like, you're intimidating to them, and you never quite understood why. But it's your Pluto in there, and it's your aggressive Mars immediately that kind of throw people off. But when it comes to the men, and they see you, they pick up on this sexual energy from you. Like, you walk into a room and they're like, okay, this girl's sexy. I see her. You know, this is what the element does. And having it in the first house definitely makes you someone who is very, very attractive, easy on the eye, just that sexual energy. You know, they pick up on that sexual energy quick. So that is my Mars in Scorpio video. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and I will see you on the next one, people. Take care.